What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Are you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
The power to change your life's dilemmas is hidden in one name.
The reason that what I need from God many times is not responding to me is because I'm praying or speaking to it as though it has a choice.
If I understand God, he didn't like what he was looking at, and he changed it. He didn't take no back talk except for yes. Stop letting your problems sass.
Don't underestimate the power in you. You can make the shift.
You've been created to change what you don't like that you're looking at. You got too much power to be casual. Problem is you don't know it. Everywhere you go, a shift has to occur. It depends on what comes out of your mouth.
Shift your life into divine gear. Make this life-altering series yours now when you write us. Visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480.
Somebody shout shift!
It's now easier than ever to stay connected with David G. Evans and the Bethany Baptist Church family. Follow the ministry and rejoice in all that God is doing by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. On Facebook, you'll be up to date on the latest happenings, and you can watch our Sunday services on Facebook Live at 8 and 11 a.m. Eastern.
Here comes the power. Hallelujah!
Words of wisdom and encouragement can be found on Twitter, and you'll get up-to-the-minute sermon points as they happen in our weekly worship services. Follow us on Instagram and be blessed by the inspirational and special moments that are highlighted each week, and meet the people who are the heart of our ministry. And if it's video you want, subscribe to the Bethany Baptist Church channel on YouTube. See the celebrations, the special events, and the many, many people who are helping to transform lives one at a time. Stay connected with David G. Evans on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and become a member of our broadcast family today.
praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Pointe, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device worldwide at David G. Evans, the #1. That's at David G. Evans, the #1. So we're so glad you joined us today. We love talking to you about events that impact your life, culture, religion, faith, any current event, political conditions, sports, but always from the kingdom point of view, always with a biblical foundation. So we're glad you've joined us. We have the most intelligent callers, we believe, on the face of the earth. Diverse opinions are always welcome on this network, on this particular broadcast, and we look forward to talking to you. Our call numbers today, toll free, of course, worldwide, 866-743-8267. That's 866-743-8267. 866-74-EVANS. You can give us a call at any time. We'd love to talk to you this morning. Our callers come from all around the United States, and at times we get those calls from out of the country, and we're always glad when our international callers chime in with us and give us their opinions and their knowledge, share their knowledge with us on those current events of the day. Of course, joining us once again is our world-famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas A. Smith. Hey, man.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good.
A lot going on this week.
Yeah.
I'm kind of, we can't get away from talking about the shootings, but I'm still, I don't know why I'm still surprised by this. I'm going to say it. I'm still surprised at the uneven response when these types of things happen from our political leaders.
Yeah.
I would expect that, based upon the fact that it was happening, but also the variety of people that are, different people that are impacted by these shootings, that our body politic would react as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
But the silence has been deafening from some of our political leaders on this thing, and I used to think it was just trying to protect the gun lobby, but I'm not sure that's the only motivation anymore.
Yeah. It's money, and it's also politics, because if this was a left-leaning Antifa-type person,
Right.
then the Republicans would be screaming out loud
Okay.
about, how violent the left is. And
Okay.
especially if they did something towards their conservative base.
Okay. We're talking about the Buffalo shooting, or we're talking about the shootings this week? That it looks
Well,
like.
I'm going to go through a variety of those. So
Okay.
the Buffalo shooting with that.
Okay.
To me, both sides play. When something happens to their side, they make a play.
Yep.
When it's on the other side, they have a different response.
Right.
The Taiwanese shooting, the Laguna Woods one, that guy was from Taiwan. So something in that China-Taiwan discrepancy, some divisions over there.
Okay.
That was supposed to be the cause of that one. The Milwaukee Bucks one, that seemed like that was a bunch of random shootings in one night, all around the same location.
Really?
Yeah, in downtown. The one in Tennessee, these teenagers got into a fight. One resorted to a gun, killing one and injuring the other one. But I think we
At a graduation.
At a graduation. I don't know if we got it becomes so normal to us as a country.
I hope not.
that
But it seems like it.
we become kind of apathetic to it.
Yeah,
and-
man. It's almost like, another one.
Yeah.
But people's lives are being lost, and people are going about their normal business, going to the grocery store, going to a graduation, attending some type of event, walking down the street, and all of a sudden you got to be concerned in America about people.
Yeah.
And the answer clearly is not more guns on the street.
Right.
The answer is getting illegal guns off the street and making it hard for people that are not right to get them.
Yeah. I had this conversation with somebody. They were like, they tried to pull the whole a good guy with a gun will stop a bad guy with a
Not
gun.
necessarily.
Not necessarily. The security officer at the grocery store shot at the guy, but his
Yeah.
armor was
Couldn't stop him.
a good guy with a gun didn't stop it. How
No.
about not get the bad guy get this type of gun?
Exactly.
it just
Started to source selling the
Hello.
gun.
yeah, and we're
Guns
not,
are going to be manufactured.
Yeah.
We get that. But does everybody have to have one walking around the
Yes.
street? And I believe I've got friends who are in states where they carry all the time.
Yeah.
The mentality that I'm ready to shoot somebody if I have to is the problem that I'm having.
Yeah.
Even with those that I know. That you leave the house and one of the things on your list is I may have to shoot someone today.
Right.
And because I'm licensed, it'll be okay.
Yeah, I got to defend myself.
It's more than having a license and defense. It's actually saying, you know, I'm ready to take someone's life.
Yeah.
To me, that signals a tremendous problem with our American mentality.
Yeah. Our love for guns is ridiculous.
But
It
at
is.
the same time, Pastor Nick, our love for guns kind of indicates a casual dislike for life.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I have a right to own guns, but people also have a right to live too.
I agree with you.
I was talking to a couple years ago when the executive pastors churches in Denver. It's an open carry state. Their problem was people open carry in church, right? So members would come in, open carry, and they got their holsters and stuff like that. So he said the security team has to always be on alert the whole entire service.
Absolutely.
Because again, you just
You
never
don't know who's carrying.
You don't know who's carrying what, and
And
for why.
And a license does not guarantee sanity.
Exactly. It's like the Texas guy that shot those in the church a couple years ago. The Army discharged him. They showed he had an extreme mental illness. In those cases, when the Army says you can't have a gun with us, you shouldn't have one as a civilian. I mean,
If you're too off balance to carry a gun in the Army, you certainly are off balance to carry one out here
come
with us.
on, y'all. And like,
Oh, God.
and I mean, we are. I believe in gun ownership, but do we need assault rifles that can shoot like machine guns and?
I don't. We're always going to extreme.
Yeah.
Now I get it. Right to defend yourself. I understand all of that. I'm defend your property if someone's trying to break in or hurt you, and when you're home.
Yeah.
I get all that. But why do we have to walk around like it's Dodge City?
Right. Yeah. Like it's the old West now.
Yeah, man.
Like,
What is that about? And then I know people who are in law enforcement that until they got that gun, they were punks all day long.
Yeah.
So what you've got a guy that a man or woman that passes a test who now has a symbol of power, but without that symbol, they were punks through and through.
Yeah. Yep.
And now they got this macho about them because they carry a gun and they're licensed to do so.
That's perfectly. I mean, what does that say about you? That a gun gives you that sense of strength and power.
It says you didn't have any.
Like you that insecure that
Yeah.
now I got this gun I can.
Yeah.
I,
It should be a person should have significance, and the gun is a tool. The gun should not be a symbol of significance.
Yes. Yeah. And I think, and even with our young folk, being able to throw, because I can't throw hands, or if I lose a fight, I go shoot the person, rather than just saying, you know what, I lost, and let me live the fight another day.
Can't do that.
You got beat up.
They
It just
can't.
is what it is.
We would fight and then go sit down somewhere and talk.
Yeah. Like just.
Or just have a mutual respect for each other.
Yeah.
Because you defended yourself. We had a disagreement. We fought to a draw. I won. You lost. I won.
Yeah.
All right. You don't win them all.
Right. It doesn't happen. But now it's just, you stepped on my shoe. You disrespected me. Now I gotta shoot you. And
Now, it used to be back in the day, if you stepped on someone's shoe, they wanted to fight you.
yeah.
But we knew that stepping on each other's shoes didn't merit somebody dying.
Right. Not that far. Over a shoe?
It doesn't make any sense. The light's blinking, but I don't know who's on the phone. It's not on the screen yet. We'll get to our caller in just a moment. I think that I did not know that Buffalo, according to what I've been hearing on the news, is the most or one of the most segregated cities in the country. How do they measure that?
probably well, the further north you go, the less of us you see.
Yeah, but I mean, why Buffalo? I mean, I know people that live in Buffalo.
I don't know. Maybe, I know somebody that lives in Buffalo can make sure, because somebody's in the comments saying they live in Buffalo.
Okay, maybe they can help us with exact.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a misstatement on the news, or maybe I didn't hear it correctly. But I'm pretty sure they said it was the most segregated city in the nation, which I thought was a distinction. But then I immediately wondered, how did they come to that conclusion? You know, how do you measure that? And I get, you know, some people are saying because they only have one supermarket. Well, we only have one in Camden.
I think it's saying, well, not surprising, of course. People think because it's the north, everything is cool, but we know about Boston. We talk about that before.
All the time.
You know, they saying that Buffalo has a long history of racism,
Okay,
which is not surprising.
okay,
A lot of right wing extremism
okay,
in that time.
okay.
They say the segregation has gone down, but it's still there, though. I mean,
Yeah, that statement was made on national news, and I was wondering, just, you know, I'm glad, you know, maybe some other people who listen to us from Buffalo rather, can call in. Let's go to Tom. Good morning, Tom. How you doing, man?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor Nick?
hey,
What's up this morning? Welcome to On Point once again.
This thing in Buffalo,
Yeah?
there's more this thing they're calling replacement race
Yeah.
theory.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about it until they said that. Just like I hadn't heard, and this is going to sound really funny, I hadn't heard about critical race theory until I heard somebody white bring it up. And I've been 70 years a black man. I didn't know what critical race theory was.
And part of what people, you know, the part that's true and part not true, because it's a little bit of realness here. And the U.S. Census thinks by the year 2045, whites, non-Hispanic whites, will only make up 49.7% of the population.
Okay.
And they're thinking about their voting bloc. That's what this is based on.
So what's the replacement theory?
that they're going to be the minority.
More minority.
Oh, that they're being
here.
replaced.
They're going to be replaced. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
See,
Okay.
Sorry. Their problem is they think that minorities are going to do to them what they did to minorities.
Okay. No, that's not going to
But
happen.
that we're not.
We're not wired that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
We're not wired.
Well, not only are we not wired that way, you know, this whole thing is about Jews and blacks. Jews and blacks are not going to make up the majority of people who are non-white. It's going to be Hispanics. And they make up different blocks depending if you're from Cuba, Puerto Rico, Mexico, depending on where you're from.
That was the other thing that I thought was a little, I hadn't heard either, that whoever is talking about this replacement theory, that they're blaming the Jewish people for promoting this. But I'm wondering why, if the wealth is held by 3% of the nation's population, it may be lower than that now. And a large majority of that, from what statistics say, is held by Jewish people. Why would Jewish people be worried about replacing anybody?
We're trying to make sense out of something that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
at
I
all.
mean, it doesn't flow, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the theory is that they're controlling it. That
Yeah.
you know that they control how blacks are going to vote, and they control how Hispanics are, even though we know it's all nonsense.
Maybe they're
people
likening that to the recording industry, to where there is a lot of Jewish representation as the head of labels, and they do control careers, but they certainly don't control lives.
Correct.
I think that I was stunned when this young man, they said he was radicalized based upon this replacement theory.
Yeah. Charlottesville
Okay.
was that, remember? Because they were
That's right.
marching against the Jews
That's right.
there.
That's right.
Tucker Carlson, a few other people kind of
Okay.
allude to this replacement theory thing.
Let me ask you a stupid question.
Yeah.
It's stupid because I think I know the answer, but I need a 40-year-old answer rather than a 7-year-old answer. When I talk to people that I know that are opponents of the mainstream media, why is Fox not considered part of the mainstream media?
I asked one that. Their claim is the majority of the news is left wing, and Fox and like a few others are in a minority. So that's why they call it the left wing media, because the majority is left wing.
Okay, but
in their minds.
Here's my question.
Yes.
Fox, as far as broadcast entities is concerned, sits atop the heap of every other network that's broadcasting the news and television programming. So how are they the top, yet they are they're not part of the indictable right-wing media? Don't they have their own platform that they promote?
Yes. Yep.
Well, guys,
huge one
guys
too.
Guys like Tucker Carlson are not considered news.
What are they, performers?
They're opinionated reporters, they say.
Exactly. They take them out of the whole realm of being legitimate reporters, and that's how they get around it.
All right. So what Tucker Carlson does is not considered news?
Correct. At least in their eyes. Of course, everyone listening to him takes this to heart.
All right. Who's the lady on MSNBC that tells the news like a story? Rachel Maddow.
Rachel Maddow, yeah.
Is she considered a news reporter, or is she considered like Tucker Carlson is?
She's more of a news reporter.
But she tells stories like he does.
She tells stories, though, but that's the same. She's like more of they're trying to decipher between opinionated news versus just here's a straight up with no bias.
I hate to be redundant.
Which there's no bias. There's always bias.
I hate to be redundant, but once again, who determines what?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson is about as opinionated as you can get.
Yeah.
You know, and people that like his way of broadcasting watch his broadcasts. Mm-hmm. People that like who's the woman, Rachel Maddow, who like her way of presenting the news.
Yeah.
You know, and regardless of what they say about her or Tucker, they're presenting the news in a unique way, but it's still the news.
Still the news, yeah. Yeah. But the white replacement thing, to me, is one of the big reasons why, like, Trump got in office. Because
so that was happening before he started running?
It was that once Obama got elected,
yeah,
a turn happened.
Wow.
In that side of the country.
Okay.
And Trump was their way of, we're back in charge again. You know.
Yeah, well,
he's going to restore our rights that we lost because these minorities are.
I told you I had that experience.
Yeah.
You know, I actually had a guy that I had been working out, you know, in the same gym with for years. The day after the election, he walked up to me. Now, we had a cordial, you know, not buddies, but, hey, man, how you doing? Good to see you. How's everybody? Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. You know, I hear you running this business. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. That kind of, you know, cordial.
Yeah.
The day after the election, he walked up to me and says, how do you feel? I said, what do you mean? I feel fine. He said, no, how do you feel? I said, what are you getting at? He says, well, now that we're in charge again, how do you feel? And I'm like, in charge of what?
Right.
Right. I'm like, we thought we were in charge?
Right, exactly. Exactly.
I was amazed, man. And this guy is an intelligent business owner. Amazed. I was amazed, Tom.
That doesn't surprise me.
But the mindset means that it was 8 years, and he stopped being courteous at the gym.
Oh, yeah.
It was 8 years of false courtesy that went away immediately.
Yep.
Now that we're in charge again, I don't have to be courteous to you anymore. I was shocked.
Yeah. Yep. It's ridiculous.
How do you carry something that deeply, that long?
Yeah.
Stake. Bishop, the thing with guns, here in Florida, I have my security license, which I had to go through. I had to go through something to get it.
Okay.
And, you know, they really much tell you how dangerous it is to use this and, you know, what trouble you can get in, which the part that gets you now is people won't have the know-withal to use it. Not only that, Pastor Nick said carrying in church. The way the law is here in Florida now, I could not carry in church, into a bar, into a casino.
Okay.
The places you still aren't allowed to carry, not unless you are law enforcement.
Okay.
This law will eliminate all that.
They're legislating a new law that's going to eliminate all of those restrictions?
Oh, open carry.
Everywhere.
Anybody can get it. Without a license. It's called a constitutional state he wants to go to.
So,
And,
so if they pass that, you won't need a license, or so you'll have to take a test to drive a car, but you won't have to take a test to own a gun.
Yeah, they're doing it in different
Exactly.
states now. You don't need a license.
That
you
makes
need a
no
permit.
sense.
It's buy a gun.
It's ridiculous.
It
And I think the law was set up pretty well before, to where you had to go to I had to go to a range. I had to pay some bucks.
that was my next question. So you don't have to go qualify on a range or anything anymore?
No, which I can't believe, because I'm gonna tell you this: when I got my license, I had to qualify on a 45, which costs X amount of dollars.
Okay.
Qualify on another gun, which costs X amount of dollars, which goes into the state, they're Crawford, which I'm surprised they're letting that go, because everything you got licensed for, there's a cost.
So if
And there,
Tom, if in Florida, if I'm an alcoholic, I can't drive the car,
Correct.
but I can carry a gun openly in the public.
You can go wherever you want. Not yet.
But he's trying
They're,
to do that now.
Exactly.
So
And,
if I'm drunk, I can't drive, but if I'm drunk, I can shoot.
And there's so many
That's
shootings
stupid.
down here right now, especially in South Florida.
Is it?
With road rage every night. I look at the news. Somebody with road rage has pulled a gun, because it's still reasonably easy.
They're too
to get a gun
available.
here
They're
compared
too
to New
available.
Jersey.
They're too available.
Yeah.
It's too available.
Because they brought that whole lie of, Obama's going to take your guns, Hillary's going to take their guns, and they started mass buying guns in mass.
Yeah.
A lot of them have stockpiled stuff for some eventual race war, just some craziness they believe. Somebody said in Texas that when the local gun store, or one of them stores, they have a shipment of supplies come in.
Yeah.
The line is out the door of a waiting line. People coming in to buy bullets, and to buy the stuff. I mean, this country's fascination and love with guns it's ridiculous.
But it means you have to ignore all the lives that have been lost because of guns, and either illegal or irresponsible ownership.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think like that. Their thing was, let's stock up. So if they ban these guns, but they never work. Obama was like, how am I going to go to everybody's house and seize their guns? He's like, I need y'all to think about this. You want me to go door to door? He's like, I'm not. Gun laws is not taking away your guns.
Right.
But that's to them how they see it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm all for ownership of a gun if you want to. I got friends that have guns. They like them.
Yeah.
I got family that has guns.
I
But
think that's
nobody wants their
misnomer.
responsibility to go with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Tom?
I think that's the misnomer that the gun lobby and Republicans use, that African Americans don't legally want to have guns, which I know a lot of my friends
A lot of black folk
who
got guns
legally have guns
now. A lot of
and
them.
are proud to have them and don't have a problem with NRA.
I'm wondering.
But
I'm wondering, Tom, if there has been a raised. If people now believe they need them more
That's the thing. Yep.
than they used to.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
What else going on in Florida, Tom? You're a man on the ground along with Danny.
The governor didn't do anything too crazy this week. He's trying to pull back, we think, secretly on the thing with the Disney thing, because it's just so much money.
Why did he put it out there? Why didn't he think of that first?
Because I don't think his people who's backing him totally, it was a real stupid idea.
Maybe they can't talk to him.
That's a good possibility.
They wouldn't be the first people to hold their tongue just to keep a seat.
Yeah.
I think it happened with our previous president, and I think it happens with any leader that we have. Any previous presidents we've had to have a couple people around them that would not tell them no. Unbelievable.
And it's always good to have someone else tell you the truth.
Well, you have to have people around you that are going to say, sir, I understand what you're saying, but perhaps I can add some wisdom to that.
Yeah.
That's a nice way of saying you need to listen to me.
Like name his servants.
Yeah.
Father, you know?
Yeah, Father.
Right.
Let me talk to you a minute. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys have a great day.
Talk to you. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267, 866-74-EVANS. Why don't you give us a call? This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. Call us toll-free, 866-743-8267. We'd love to talk to you. Good morning, Danny from Florida. How you doing?
Hey.
Good morning, Bishop, Pastor Nick, staff. How you all doing today?
We're doing all right now. We hear your voice. How's things down there?
Pretty good, but I feel good for you today because I understand that you're having Florida type of weather today.
Yeah, something around 96 degrees. Is that?
today and
But,
tomorrow, yeah.
but I hear you complaining about it when it gets up that high. So why are you being?
It's a different heat.
It's a different heat.
That's true. Yeah. That
Okay.
humidity down
Yeah.
there.
It's
Yeah, and then get the,
what kind of heat you
afternoon
guys get?
Well, we get the afternoon storms to go along with it.
Okay.
So you're in a sauna.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I didn't find that too unpleasant when I was down there. Pastor Nick, when we're down there for conference and all in
Summertime,
Orlando,
like,
yeah,
it's hot.
Pastor Nick is just.
I got T-shirts
He's
on.
suffering, man.
I got short sleeve shirts.
I'm like, this is great.
Oh, it's perfect.
Anything's better than wintertime. My bones feel better. I mean, it's just a wonderful thing. What's on your mind today, Danny?
Well, I was just trying to figure out, different situations that we're going through right now. And it was so sad, the event last week that went on and the way that it's being covered and the information that's being passed out, and then the various excuses that come about for letting something like this go on.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, what you said a few years ago after the shooting at the school. If you said that if this does not move them to change laws and to do something about it, then nothing else will.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's been true.
I'm finding that to be very true.
Yeah.
The way it was a slaughter to begin with.
Yeah.
And then for someone to come up with some type of an excuse for that, it's really doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, when the children got killed in up in Connecticut,
Yeah, Sandy Hook.
Yeah. You had people actually come out and say the whole thing was a lie. Political leaders said it was a lie. It didn't happen. People lost their children, and you have people that are in office saying that the folk that lost the children were lying. I thought that was the most bizarre insanity I'd heard in a long time.
Yep.
But even now, the insanity is still being played out. I'm not sure we're not reacting, Pastor Nick. I think the first consideration is getting elected.
That's the most important thing. Getting elected and staying elected.
So the loss of life is consequential, unless it fuels my reelection.
Yep.
If it doesn't fuel my
And then
reelection, it's not that big a deal.
And then the other part to that is that even though people have this fantasy of having weapons and things like that, you could not melt them down and pour them into a military uniform to go to a foreign country or to even go.
They said you couldn't melt them down and pour them into a uniform.
No, they would not do that with someone else firing back at them from the opposite side. I was in the military, and Bishop, I have no fondness of guns or anything because I know the destruction that it can do.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense at all. It's different when you're firing at somebody, but when somebody's firing back at you, it's a different story altogether, a different scenario. When you see a friend or a loved one or somebody that you've gotten to know, see them in pain and suffering, it's something altogether different.
Sure.
And even though people now are getting guns, I have to go ahead and agree with Pastor Nick. These people have been stockpiling weapons and guns for years. This is nothing that has just developed. They've been planning this for a long time.
So, Danny, do you think they've been stockpiling them based on a perceived threat that the right to own them was going to be taken away, or do you see it as, in some cases, a reaction to the environment?
It's having the upper hand. If something were to happen, like with the point that Pastor Nick is trying to get, is that they have the stockpile if they're not going to run out of bullets. Okay? Because what they've done, they put a limit on what you can get and how you can get it.
Okay.
Now, they've worked out all of the logistics as far as getting what they need.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need an armor-piercing bullet for if you're going deer hunting?
Well, you don't, because last time I checked, I didn't see any deer running around the forest with bulletproof vests on. I didn't,
Exactly.
They don't have body armor on. You know.
They're ready for that QAnon and that whole, well, actually before QAnon, that whole group of them together.
Yeah.
Got this crazy thing going on about we're going to be replaced. If there's a race war, we're prepared. That's what they're all, you know.
What's unfortunate, and something Danny brought up, and something that a friend of mine, former friend of mine, reminded me of, who was in that criminal life.
Mm.
He said that it is a rare individual who can actually function in a gunfight, because getting shot at does all kinds of things to your concentration and everything
Yeah,
else.
sure.
Yes.
You know, just people say you can hit a target, but the target is not shooting back,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that changes the whole dynamic. Is that true, Danny?
Yes, and then don't let it be a situation where it's at night when you could actually see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's a different scenario, different story altogether.
Yeah.
And
You mean muzzle flash and all that?
Yeah,
Right,
they got the military
right.
tactic gear to see in the nighttime. And
Yeah,
they
man.
are, some of these folk are
Yeah.
like insane.
I know a few.
Yeah. Just, I mean,
I know a few. How's my sister doing, Dan?
oh, she's doing great. She's really being blessed here, and
I'm so glad to hear she's really being blessed.
yes, yes.
Please give her my love and tell
Will
her
do, Bishop.
tell her to hold on. I'm praying for her.
All right.
All right,
God
man.
bless you all, and enjoy the weather there.
All right, talk to you now.
bye-bye.
All right, be blessed now.
You want the answer to the Buffalo thing?
Yeah,
about
yeah, I
segregation?
do. Yeah.
So here's the interesting thing. Buffalo, whites make up 45% in the city of Buffalo.
Okay.
Blacks make up 37%.
Okay.
So it's a lot. It's close there
Okay.
compared to most places.
Okay.
Buffalo's known for a lot of redlining.
Really?
For housing, yes. For
Okay.
those who don't know, housing so blacks can't get apartments and stuff
Okay.
and houses. One of the towns right outside of Buffalo was a sundown town until it had to sign up until 2020.
What's a sundown?
A sundown town it's a sign that says black people, you can only be here from sun up to sundown. If you're here after sundown, something can go down.
Okay.
And they had these sundown towns throughout different parts of the country for
Okay.
years.
But Buffalo's sign outside of Buffalo didn't come down
It
until
didn't come
when?
down to 2020. And these were literal signs. Black folk, you have to leave the city before sundown.
That was not Buffalo proper. It was outside of Buffalo.
It's a little bit
suburb
outside of Buffalo. Yeah.
Okay.
But it shows the sign of the area,
Yeah.
how the area
Yeah.
thinks.
That was acceptable until 2020.
The sign was still up, yeah. But what was I watching?
That would account for the one supermarket to serve the 39%
Yeah.
population.
Yeah, because they put them all. Y'all all live here. We'll all live here. And that's
I thought they were being incorrect. You're telling me they were correct when they said it was one of the, if not the most
yeah,
segregated cities in the nation.
yeah, one of them. So
In this day and time, that just seems dazzling to me.
absolutely, yeah. So you give all the money. Well, we see this in areas around here. You give
Yeah.
all the money to the suburbs,
Yeah.
and don't give no
Yeah.
real support to
No,
these people.
No.
But
Not enough for transformation.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But for there to have that sundown sign was big to me, because if you watch like Green Look and a couple of those places, they talk about those sundown towns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To have the sign up and still be acceptable,
Like that's law.
like like if
So
you
if you work in that little town, you got to be out of there by the time.
buy it before the sun goes down, yeah. Because who knows what will happen.
Now,
to
I
you.
understand there may not be any signs because I've been to Salem in that area of Jersey myself.
Mhm.
But I understand that, you are risking yourself going just an hour or so from here.
At a certain time. of
At a
day.
certain time, and if you're there at nighttime, you're
Yep.
subject to be followed by trucks and whatnot. And that's about, Salem's how far from here? Hour and a half?
Yeah. Not even that, I don't think, is it?
Yeah.
It might be, I don't know.
Might be, I don't
It's been
know.
a while since
It's
I've been
close
down
to
there.
Delaware.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been down there.
Yeah. But that's right here in the state, and it's right there in these times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why the Green Book had, if you want to buy stuff, this is where you can buy it in the city.
Okay.
This is where you can get gas. Make sure you're not in these towns at sundown.
Something called the Green Book?
The Green Book, yeah, that was for the Civil Rights era.
Okay.
For the Green Book was
Okay.
it was a guide for African Americans and how to get through the country.
Okay, if you were
And
traveling.
If you're traveling.
Okay.
Don't go here, go here. This place will serve you food, this place will give you gas, this place won't. Don't stay here after dark.
Wow.
You should read about it. It's
I can't. I can't.
It's deep, man.
I've settled some of that stuff in my heart. I can't, man. It took me
It's
years to get some stuff settled, man.
Yeah. And I mean the testimonies of people going to certain gas stations
Yeah.
and telling them make sure you have small bills, because if you have, say your gas was $5,
Right.
and you gave the attendant 10,
Yeah.
they wouldn't give you your change back because you were a black person driving through. I mean,
Unbelievable stuff.
it was. That's why so many black people on road trips, we bring our own food,
Well,
because it was the nature of.
the era I grew up in, we did.
Yeah.
We did, because there were separate bathrooms, separate water fountains, separate entrances into restaurants. I experienced that in my own life.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
it's not a falsehood. It happened to me.
Yeah,
and it was just in places like Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
Carolinas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Georgia.
Georgia.
Florida.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. People act like that era. Oh, that was a long time ago. You are still alive.
It's within my lifetime. And regardless of how people want to reject that as a part of our history, I lived it. So it's, I mean, I actually lived it.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
And what's amazing about it, I can still see the colored only signs.
I'm sure
I can see it in my head.
Yeah.
I mean, just the shape of the restroom, and I can see it.
Yeah. And as a child, your parent or grandparent, somebody telling you you can't go there, and you're
Yeah.
inquisitive, like, why not? And then they got this conversation with you.
I asked the question. I'm like, Cousin James, what's up with the bathroom?
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go to
Sorry.
Teresa from Camden. Hey, Teresa, how you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
We're doing great today. Welcome to On Point. So glad you called us today.
Well, thank you. I was reluctant.
Never be reluctant.
I called anyway. I stepped out and called anyway.
Okay.
The conversations that you're going, talking about, even particularly now, talking about the Green Book.
Hello. 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 She must have lost her signal.
Yeah. Call us back.
Call us back. That's Teresa from Camden. She must have lost the signal. Call us back, Teresa, if you can still hear from us. If you can still hear us.
Yeah.
So, Australian doctors found a breakthrough for SIDS babies?
Yeah. There was something, I had it too. There's something in their genetics,
Okay.
which is why they're dying of SIDS.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're not 100%, but they're pretty sure they found a breakthrough case.
They've isolated it?
Yeah. And which took a lot of, it takes a lot of babies.
Yeah, man. And it's inexplicable, and it causes all kinds of trauma in the family, because the first thing that they investigate is, did anybody in the house have anything to do with the death of the baby? Was
Right.
it negligence? Is this
Yes.
homicide? And then they go through that long process of, a doctor having to prove it was SIDS, and that depends also on whether the doctor that examines the child is expert enough to actually discover whether it was SIDS or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That's traumatic. It's something about they have lower levels of an enzyme. I'm not going to be able to pronounce this.
Okay.
Butyryl cholesterol.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
It's BCHE.
Okay.
It plays a major role in the brain's arousal pathway, and low levels would reduce a sleeping infant's ability to wake up or respond to its environment.
Wow.
So it's neurological,
Okay.
something there.
Well, it would have to be.
Yeah.
I think Teresa's back. Teresa, are you back?
I'm back. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
My point was that the gun control, how everyone wants to carry guns, and guns are becoming a major part of everybody's household. But the biggest thing that I find a concern with is that video games are a major part of everybody's household, predominantly where they're children. And I believe that minorities, black people, buy most of the video games. And it's actually teaching children, and the adults are also playing them, how to use weapons, how to navigate during the nighttime and shooting, daytime, all the shooting and everything. I think a lot of it's controlled by video games, and there's no regulations on the control of these types of video games.
I agree with you, especially on the point of there seems to be a lack of parental wisdom as it relates to what the children are watching.
Absolutely.
And because a game is popular, that gives some parents permission to allow their children to participate in these games. And some of them are just crazy violent, and it almost becomes an acceptable thing. And I watch my own children as they watch things like Spider-Man, and their struggle, Pastor Nick, is separating the fantasy from the reality. I have to tell them over and over, no, this is a human being playing that part. It's not real, you know. But they're looking at TV in a way we didn't look at it. We knew that was fake. It's their reality now, and I think the artificial intelligence and all this, the reality that the modern quote unquote characters are presented, it makes them look almost human. So they're having this struggle between what's real and what's not.
Yes,
I think at certain
exactly.
ages,
and they're looking at it as they're actually talking to these people that they're playing games with, and these are people that they don't even know.
Wow. What are you saying, Pastor Nick?
I think certain things are for certain ages. I
Okay.
grew up in the video game era.
Did you?
So we were playing Mortal Kombat. There was a whole lot of blood and guts and stuff in that.
How'd you survive that?
Well, we were at a certain age where we understood it's a video game.
Okay.
But I think there are certain things for certain age groups.
So you didn't get involved in that too early in life?
No, because
Okay.
part of that was because of when it came out. I was already like in junior high.
Okay.
Or late elementary school.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Pastor Nick, what about the cartoons with Elmer Fudd, where he was shooting always at the rabbits?
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm saying.
the
We
Roadrunner and
grew
all
up with that, but
The
we weren't out there
children
shooting nobody because,
distinguish
you know.
Yeah, but we didn't think Elmer Fudd was real,
right,
though.
we were like,
well, Tweety Bird, there was always a lot of violence.
yeah, but
going
we
on.
didn't think they were real.
Yeah.
Although I get your point,
Yeah.
it was, in a sense, Looney Tunes did condone
Looney,
a level,
that's right.
a
Very
level of
Looney.
violence, a level of violence between the characters.
but I didn't go and hit my brother with a head with a mallet because I saw it on.
Now some kids did do that.
Some tried, but
Some did.
at a
Some
certain
kids did.
age.
So Teresa does have a point.
At a certain age, you're aware of certain things.
It's influence. It can influence some people.
Yes,
At a certain
but
age.
then my other point is why aren't there any regulations on?
Money.
Money.
Well, the media is actually controlling
Money.
households.
But let me ask you a question then too. So somebody asked something in the comments. When people play Cowboys and Indians, did that make them more violent?
Some of us.
Probably.
Some of us.
Yes,
So-
probably. It
So
just
for
wasn't
some,
that-
it might have.
Some of us, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Not all of us.
At a certain.
Yeah. Some of us were more afraid of our parents than we were to try to go out and duplicate stuff.
Exactly.
But I mean, would you actually go out there and shoot somebody?
No, but some
Because-
of them thought guns were okay.
Yeah, and I think there is a desensitization.
Desensitization.
Yes, thank
Yes.
you. I'm tired.
That would be rough if we weren't tired.
Right. That can go on with certain groups, but
Yeah.
like I think they put like gaming over 14. That's where the parent has to step in and say, "Look, you're not old enough and ready for this game."
And just because they have 21 on the wrapper doesn't mean you're ready to
Right.
participate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to know.
Got to know your own kids.
Yeah, so like there are people who game. Like I have PlayStation still, so sometimes I'll play somebody in a football game online.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go out there and tackle them in the street.
No.
Because but I'm at the age to know it's a game.
But it does. I can see Teresa's point where that might make the violence on the screen acceptable, and try to duplicate it in real life.
That's what I'm saying. There's a certain At a certain
Well, I
age, you're ready for certain
understand-
things.
Well, we got a problem here because I love sports. You love sports.
Yeah.
Which means there are certain sports that we condone violence in.
Boxing,
Football, hockey.
Right.
There's a certain,
Yeah, there's a limit there, and I mean, and they've done studies to see is violence in video games equated. There's no hard violence to say that it does it to the overall.
Yeah, but I think
for a few, yes.
I think live violent sports, because the reality is when we watch a football game,
Yeah.
we know somebody could get paralyzed.
Oh, absolutely.
We know it,
And seeing people
and seeing people get paralyzed, but it doesn't stop us from looking.
No, you still watch the next game.
And we and we actually celebrate the most violent hits.
Yeah. We were at the Eagles game. You took
Yes.
us to the vet.
Yes.
When the game, Michael Irvin got his neck broke and
Yes,
his
sir.
career was over.
Yes, sir.
I remember that. We were sitting. It was
Wow.
me, you, Derek, and I think it was me, you, and Derek. I think with.
Yep.
Might have been somebody else.
Yeah, I think it was one or two other guys with us.
But yeah, we were like, oh wow, he got hurt.
Wow.
Game went on.
They cart him off just like at the gladiator ring, and you keep on going. People wondering why it's taking so long to get them off the field. It's horrible.
It is terrible.
I have one question to ask before I get off the line. What does it mean when they say in the video games that there is a subliminal message? Whatever,
message.
My pronunciation.
Subliminal.
Yes. What does that actually mean? Is that suggesting that I'm putting this thought out there that you can go out and shoot a person 13, 14, 10 times, whatever you want to shoot them, or you can... I'm still on video games.
Well, there's a subliminal message in these violent video games that violence at this level is acceptable and doable. But there's been times when there has been a message placed in.
Is it a coded message?
Well, yeah. Well, it's not. You could say encoded, but it's at a level that your ear can't pick it up. Your brain picks it up, but your ear doesn't pick it up, and they're trying to persuade you. Like, for instance, this will be a good example. So, everything has sugar in it, right?
Yes.
So, they put everything. So now, when you can't walk by something without your mouth watering and you wanting to get it, the subliminal nature of food now is to put sugar in everything so you'll desire more of it. So there are some subliminal messages in some of the things that we watch, both very visible and some not very audible, that suggest that we do more of what we're watching.
So it plays on your emotion.
It plays on your psychology.
Sugar's addictive. Sugar's like crack.
Yeah.
It really is. It's
makes me sick.
But
can't walk by a donut shop without feeling tempted.
I know. And movies back in the day, they would put the subliminal messages behind the advertisements.
They would flash the popcorn during the darn movie.
Real fast, and you'd miss it.
Yep.
It's so quick you wouldn't see it.
You wouldn't see it.
And you almost
people start getting up, going out and getting it. It's terrible. Just terrible.
Well, one more question, and then I'm going to really stop.
You said that 3 times already. Go ahead.
As voters, what can we do to stop try to control, there's no control over the media. I can't, there's no need to even answer that question. You can't control the media.
Mm-mm.
But there should be regulations, even I don't know.
Let me tell you what I think the problem is, Teresa. The people can scream as loud as they want to, but in this environment that we live in, this political environment, if it is not going to put our political people in a position to get elected, they're not going to back it. They don't. There's pockets of money that influence voting, and they don't want to anger those pockets of money.
And along with what you're saying, that money thing, News did a study. We talked about it before. They showed in a week, they showed nothing but good news all week.
Oh yeah.
The viewership dropped
through the floor. Nobody wanted to see it.
They went back to bad news.
Goes back up.
We have this insatiable need to watch the train wreck.
Which is why the reality shows are so popular.
Exactly. One of the most watched events in TV history was OJ and the Bronco.
Yeah.
They literally stopped an NBA Finals game, put it at the bottom of the screen,
So you can see it.
So you can see OJ's.
And watch the game at the same time.
And people sat there and watched a car moving, and that showed them something.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they want.
Drama is what we love. Drama is what we love.
So, in other words, that one thing, you said that they showed all the good news on the station or whatever.
Yeah.
And the ratings were not that popular?
No, they went down.
They went down.
No, they went.
So did
they almost
stop showing that, or did they continue to show that?
They stopped
Good
showing the
news?
good stuff and went back to the bad stuff, and the ratings went back up.
Yeah. And if they
So-
show anything good, it's like 30 seconds of it.
Yeah, no, you can't have a lot of good news.
Ooh. Okay, well, that's it. I'm not going to ask any more questions.
I'm so happy for you today.
I'm enlightened by your answers, and I'm glad that I did call because that helped a lot in my.
Good talking to you, Teresa.
Thank you.
See you soon now. Bye-bye. That was Teresa from Camden.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming up on the end of the program. Let me get some of these announcements in, Pastor Nick, and I know you have some stuff to tell us.
Mm-hmm.
We need people to be careful. The B2, BA2 has exploded. New York, North Jersey, now South Jersey. Hospitalizations are up. Positive rates are up. You need to be careful. I'm wearing my mask everywhere I go. I'm not taking
Everywhere.
any chances. It's not the time to get tired of being safe, you all.
Yep.
We hit 1 million COVID deaths in the United States.
It's almost a blip. Like nothing.
Nothing,
like
man.
Just,
Nothing. And a lot of the states are experiencing COVID spikes right now. So we need to be vigilant, need to be cautious. Do not get tired of being wise. You can join us tomorrow online at 8 a.m. for our virtual service, 11 a.m. Going to have great weather tomorrow. Come on out at our 11 a.m. outdoor service. And then, of course, we got 10 Times Better Women at 6 on tomorrow night, so you can spend the day with us virtually and in person. Our outdoor communion is going to happen on June 5th at 6 o'clock. We're going to have an outdoor communion. We're going to have a great time. Always, we want you to email your prayer requests to us, and you can do that at socials. Mail them to social. Email them to social@go2bethany.com. social@go2bethany.com. We always invite you to subscribe to our podcast platforms, DGEMS and On Pointe, but also YouTube, David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ. What you got, Pastor Nick?
no, that was really it.
That was it?
That was it. Yeah, for the announcements.
I am, I don't know why, maybe we can close out on this. I don't know why all these shootings are not raising our concerns that something needs to be done. It's happening all over the place, across ethnic lines.
Yep.
Something needs to be done.
Yep. Yeah.
And I don't know what it's going to take at this point.
Yeah. Because you got kids shot, nothing. Congressmen shot, nothing. Presidents were shot,
Nothing.
I mean, let's say a dumb thing. Our own selfish independence is greater than somebody else's life.
Absolutely.
It's just,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I think it's part of the reason we have, we're having the COVID issue that we have.
Yeah.
And I've got friends in other countries that are looking at us like we're inept. Because that independence that we have, which is extraordinarily selfish, is not concerned for the rest of the people. But you know what's really weird? You can even be selfish and decide, I need to do this so that doesn't get affected, so I don't get ultimately affected.
Yeah.
Even if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
I'm ultimately looking out for myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I mean, going to seeing people come out of stores, do all the stuff, and just like
I went to do some business yesterday, and people were looking at me like I was strange because I had the mask on. They were all sitting there without them. I'm like, you guys are silly. Now, they had signs on the doors telling you, please knock and call before you come in and all. But got in there, no precautions at all.
none at all. Yeah. I mean, my thing is, if you can wear a mask to the doctor's office,
You're going to wear one.
you're going to wear one, yeah.
Ain't no if.
Yeah. And if they're requiring it, that says something.
You
Like-
can't go to the dentist.
Right, I know.
So if the medical people are saying you can't come in here without a mask on, something's up.
Yeah, that's your clue. That is your clue. Like,
And guess what? People are still going to the doctor.
they are. And they wearing the mask.
You don't hear anybody come in there and say, well, I'm not wearing it.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
take that bad tooth and go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I mean, to me, the inconvenience of wearing a mask all the time is nothing compared to the inconvenience of.
We got to get a grip on
just-
this thing, but it's not going to happen as long as we have this selfish independence going on.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, we've come to the end of another program. We're so glad you joined us today. For Pastor Nick, I'm Bishop David G. Evans. You've been listening to On Point, watching On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. We come to you live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Won't you join us tomorrow all day long? We'll be live here on our campus, our outdoor worship service. You don't want to miss the secret place, the enemies of the secret place. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you tomorrow. Remember, faith acts like a thing is so even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you, and we'll see you next week on Point.